Welcome to Missouri Sports Talk. I'm your host, Cameron Staley, and today we've got our Week 3 high school predictions. I went 32-10 last week. It was a little step back from what I did Week 1, 36-6. So I'm sitting at 78% correct so far this year. Feels like that's pretty good. Now, if you do follow the channel, you know I was in San Diego this weekend, so I went to the Lutheran North and Blair Oaks game Thursday night. Didn't really get my fix for high school sports in Missouri this weekend, so this may be a quicker video for what it's worth. You know, still maybe end up being like 20 minutes, but so we may end up kind of flying through past week's scores because I don't really have a lot to say because I didn't watch any games or highlights. Being loud again, dude. He's gotten comfortable down here. Now he just thinks that he can be loud as can be, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead. 8-man scoreboard. Archie versus Appleton City is what you see on the top right now. 54 points dropped by Archie in the win. St. Paul Lutheran ends up disappointing me. I think this is the one game I got wrong in 8-man. They end up losing to Northwest 68-31. Pattonsburg falls to South Holt 73-66. Bramer, led by Jordan Haley, they end up winning 78-18. Plattsburgh gets the win over Knox County 68-32. And Lockwood ends up beating Drexel 62-24. Big games in 8-man this week. The teams that were supposed to win won. So, that's all you can really ask for. Class 1 scoreboard now. You see on your screen, Liberty ends up beating West Platte 22-14. I had Russellville by 15 in this game. They lose to Vanfar 66-20. I had North Platte winning as well. They lose to Milan 47-24. I think I'm done picking North Platte. Warsaw ends up upsetting Adrian. This is our Class 1 game of the week. I had Adrian winning in this one. Marceline beats Gallatin 41-12. And Tipton makes quick work of Lincoln 34-8. That one was kind of expected. The Class 2 scoreboard now. Savannah ends up beating East Buchanan in the Missouri Sports Talk Class 2 game of the week. I had East Buchanan winning this game. Savannah wins by 20, blanks East Buchanan. Ava ends up beating Logan Rogersville 22-14. Herman wins over South Callaway 36-6. Monroe City makes it look easy. They beat Montgomery County on the road 58-28. This actually may have been this was my runner-up for Class 2 game of the week was St. Vincent versus Valley Catholic. I had Valley Catholic winning pretty easily by 22. St. Vincent comes out and kills Valley Catholic. It was 24-7, so congratulations to them. And Lamar, they struggle against East Newton, so it's kind of scaring me because they played it close with McDonald County, and McDonald County's 0-2. So they end up winning 34-24. I had them winning by 44. So, I'm not fully certain what to think there. I guess we'll see what's to come this week. They've got a tough test against Tipton, so we'll see how that game goes. The Class 3 scoreboard. I had Pleasant Hill winning by 28. They lose by 35. Don't score a single point. Seneca beats Mount Vernon in the Class 3 game of the week. I had them by 16. They end up winning by 21 points in this one. Osage gets it done against Moberly on the road 39-6. Southern Boone over Mexico 21-0. I wish that was more. I would have liked to see Southern Boone by 100 in that one. Nevada versus Aurora. The Hound Dogs, they end up going down 21-7. And St. Francis Borgia against Owensville on Thursday night. I had Borgia winning this one. I want to see what I had it by. I had Borgia by 31. They end up winning 46-0. So not a close game there. The Class 4 scoreboard. Orchard Farm gets it done against Pacific by 7. This is a little closer than I thought it would be. Holt ends up losing to North Point at home. I had Holt in this one. I had them by 3. They end up losing by 16. Kirksville gets it done against Chillicothe. I was expecting this one, not by that many points, but they end up winning 42-7. Westminster over Clayton, 42-0. West Plains, you see in the bottom right, we're going to skip that one in the bottom left here for a second. West Plains wins 43-6 over Parkview. Very surprising to me. And our Missouri Sports Talk game of the week last week was Lutheran North versus Blair Oaks. I thought this game was going to be closer. I really did. Lutheran North ends up winning 58-28. Not a close game. The offensive side of the ball for Blair Oaks, that's supposed to be the strong suit, but it looked like the weak point in this game. But, looking at the score, doesn't look great. It really doesn't, Brutus. But it's more of a testament of how good Lutheran North is, in my opinion, state champion in Class 4, rather than Blair Oaks being bad. Because, obviously Blair Oaks is not a bad team. They just beat Maryville 61-12, who just blanked Pleasant Hill, who's a Class 4 team. So, it's hard to look into. This is a really tricky game. Bad matchup for the Falcons. I'm going to stand on them winning Class 3. I have both of them winning the state championships in their own classes. So, a very interesting game. It was really weird to watch. It surprised me a lot. The Class 5 scoreboard. Platte County versus Grain Valley. This was our Class 5 game of the week. I had Platte County winning this one by 17. They ended up winning 52-21. Eureka at home, they beat Marquette, a Class 6 school, 37-14. Webb City falls to Nixa at home. They were leading Nixa 21-20, and Nixa goes on 35 points unanswered. They end up winning 55-21. For Zewalt North, they beat Francis Howell. Francis Howell is off to an 0-2 start. It does not get any easier this week. This is a really surprising one to me because I really thought that they're only going to lose 1 or 2 games this season. Cardinal Ritter goes to Illinois, and they get it done 28-10 against a very good Rochester Rockets team, or Rochester, sorry. DeSmet versus MICDS. I want to say this was on Saturday. This is the one that I got to see highlights of. DeSmet played so good. They played so good this week. MICDS is a really tough team. They're going to make some noise in Class 5. DeSmet, obviously my Class 6 state championship pick. This was a fun game to watch, touchdown by touchdown. I think it was GSB that was posting them, if I'm correct. But 28-6 in this game. DeSmet looked amazing. I think that they'll continue to roll this week as well. But let's go ahead. Let's get to this week's predictions. Let's throw the Class 8 scoreboard up on the screen. Oh, shoot. Sorry. Actually, I'm lying. You're watching me struggle because there's no scoreboard. I forgot Class 6, so let's go ahead and get to that right now. Joplin and Lebanon in the top. This is actually the game that I got to watch. I broke down and bought the Wi-Fi on the plane because it was a 3-hour ride, and it was right when high school football started. So I got to watch Joplin and Lebanon play. Lebanon, I feel like they played better for most of the game. Joplin ends up getting it done, though, 21-17. Jackson and Cahokia. Jackson gets it done 49-26. Liberty upsets Liberty North. This was an insane game. I don't know how this happened, but I knew going into the season that Liberty would be legit. I didn't think they would beat Liberty North 12-7 legit, though. Lee Summit gets it done against Blue Springs 35-14. SLU beats Hillsboro. Didn't see this one coming, 24-17. And CBC hosts Bryant. I had CBC winning by a lot. I had them by 24. They end up losing by 21. So not the greatest outlook for CBC right there. They're going to be fine, though. Don't worry about that game. All right, so now we get to go to the 8-man scoreboard. If you see in the top of your screen, we'll just go ahead and talk about Appleton City and Drexel right away. Both these teams coming off a loss to the top teams in the state in 8-man football. But I am going to take Appleton City by 18 points in this one. North Shelby versus St. Paul. I've picked St. Paul 3 times out of 3 weeks now. I'm going to take the Saints by 13. Northwest versus Concordia. I don't know a whole lot about either of these teams, but Northwest does look better, so I am going to take Northwest by 26. Schuyler County versus Plattsburgh. Plattsburgh is one of the greatest teams in the state for 8-man football. Give me Plattsburgh by 20. Worth County versus North Andrew. North Andrew, I want to say they won state 2 years ago. They fell off last year. played pretty bad. This year, they look better than they did last year, but still not quite there. I will take Worth County by 8. I think this will be a close game. And the 8-man game of the week, obviously, you guys will know what I'm thinking tomorrow, but it is Bramer versus Paris. This is going to be a really fun game. It'll be interesting to watch. The Class 1 scoreboard. Penny versus West Platte is what you see in the top left of your screen. That's an interesting game. I think that this is a pretty good matchup for Penny. I am going to take them by 12 points in this one. Ashgrove versus Stockton. I will take Ashgrove by 16. Marionville versus Skyline. Marionville, the defending champs. Not going to be the closest game in the world. I will take Marionville by 38. Polo versus Gallatin. Not going to be a close game either. I'm going to take Gallatin by 29 on the road. North Platte hosting Lathrop. This is a really interesting game. North Platte, they were the runner-up in state last year. Not looking too hot this year, honestly. They're off to an 0-2 start. And Lathrop has kind of surprised me a little bit. I feel like they look better than I expected them to be. I'm going to take an upset. Lathrop on the road here. Give me them by 4 points. And the Class 1 game of the week brought to you by Blind Hog Barbecue in Tipton, Missouri. It's the squeal deal. Marceline hosting South Harrison. This is going to be a fun game for both sides. I do think that Marceline is just way over South Harrison, though, this year. I guess we'll see. You guys will have to tune in for the score on that one. But I did kind of give away who I'm picking there. Class 2 scoreboard. Monroe City and South Shelby is where we'll direct our attention first. Monroe City, I'm just not fully certain about them. They had a bad week against Valley week 1. Played really good against Montgomery County last week, but South Shelby is just way ahead of them. Give me the Cardinals by 36. Pembroke Hill and Kip Casey Legacy. These are two teams that you may not see on the scoreboard very many times for the rest of the year because they're not, too much to talk about. But I am going to take Pembroke Hill by 11 in this Kansas City area football game. Liberty Mountain View versus Thayer. I'm not fully certain what to say on this one. Not, super knowledgeable about either team, but Thayer honestly does look better this year. Give me them by 7 points. Lamar hosting Tipton. I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier. Tipton's a great Class 1 team this year. They're in the running for state. I need to see them come out and start hot because Lamar, I feel like they've been disguised by two not great teams this year so far that they've played and won in both of them. This is an open challenge to Tipton. I'm putting this one all over social media. Tipton, if you guys win, I will come by again this year. Get this one done. And, Holden and Adrian. Home game for Holden. Whatever. Give me Adrian by 13. And the Class 2 game of the week, Warsaw versus Lafayette County. I really, really considered coming to this one. You guys will see what my decision is at the end of the video, though, so stay tuned for that. Maybe it is this Warsaw and Lafayette County game. Maybe I'm just kind of tricking you guys a little bit here. The Class 3 scoreboard, got to start in the top left. Maryville versus Chillicothe. Last week, they beat Pleasant Hill pretty badly. Chillicothe lost to Kirksville pretty badly, so I will take Maryville continuing to roll by 27. Odessa versus Mexico. Really not a fan of Mexico. You guys know that. I'm going to take Odessa by 40 in this one, just for shits and gigs. Blair Oaks versus Osage. This one's kind of obvious. Osage is a great team this year, but there's just no Tri-County teams that are ever on Blair Oaks' level in football. I will take the Falcons by 46 in this one, but expect a very close first quarter. Next, what else? Fredericktown hosting Central Park Hills. Give me the Rebels by 31 in this one. St. Francis Borgia is hosting St. Dominic. This is Class 3 Borgia versus Class 6 St. Dominic, who just moved up from Class 5. This is an interesting game. I don't really know who's going to win this game, but I will take St. Dominic with the edge here. I think that they'll play better than most expect. I will take them by 25, but normally I take single digits for the ones I'm teeter-tottering on, but I just want to kind of go safe with this one. I feel like St. Dominic is just a lot better. And the Class 3 game of the week, it's got to be Mount Vernon hosting McDonald County. McDonald County has started off 0-2. I'm really interested to see what happens with them. I don't really know how to read into it because they played two tough teams so far this year. So we'll see where they go from here. But Mount Vernon, they're 1-1. They played Seneca last week and they lost. So expect both teams looking for a bounce back. This is going to be a tough, gritty football game. The Class 4 scoreboard now. We got to start with Hillsborough and Washington. I just kind of threw this one on there because, I don't know. I just wanted to talk about it just for a second. I feel like Hillsborough's off to a surprisingly bad start. They played two really hard teams, but they really need this win to show that they're still someone to talk about. I will take the Hawks by 34. Down to the left. Bottom left, Fort Zumwalt South is hosting St. Charles. Both okay teams. I will take the Bulldogs by 20. Kirksville versus Savannah. Savannah is just off of a big win against East Buchanan, 20-0. One of the best small class teams. And Kirksville is off a 42-7 win against Chillicothe. Kirksville is hosting this game. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens in this one. This one may end up being a barn burner. I'm going to take Kirksville by 3 points in this one. Nevada versus Seneca is also a really cool game. Really consider going to this one. Both teams 2-0. I am going to take Seneca on the road, though, by 14. Orchard Farm versus Holt. I'm going to take Orchard Farm by 5, continue rolling, and start 3-0. Don't worry about Holt, though. I think they'll be okay this year, even if they start 1-2. And the Class 4 game of the week, it has to be Smithville versus Kearney. Two great teams. I had Smithville getting runner-up, I want to say. It was runner-up last year. They ended up getting knocked off by Kearney. So this is kind of a revenge game that they're looking for here. I will take the Bulldogs, though. This is the one, I feel like I should always just give one during the video. I will take Kearney by 10. So the Class 5 scoreboard now. Lebanon versus Neosho. Lebanon, they're off to an 0-2 start. I'm not worried about it, though. I will take them by 7 in this one. O'Fallon versus St. Mary's. O'Fallon doesn't look very great. I just didn't really know what to do for the 6th game on the scoreboard, so I will take St. Mary's by 49. Ladue versus Lindbergh. I will take Lindbergh on the road by 17 points. Rockwood Summit versus Oakville. I feel like Oakville is a solid team this year, but they're just not on Rockwood Summit. Rockwood Summit's level. I will take Rockwood by 25. Lafayette Wildwood versus Kirkwood. I considered making this one the Class 5 game of the week, ended up going elsewhere. I will take Kirkwood on the road by 6, coached by Mizzou legend Jeremy Macklin. So, pretty cool team out there. They've got some pretty great players. And the Class 5 game of the week, Fort Osage versus Platte County. This is going to be a fun game to watch. If you're in the Kansas City area, consider going to this one. This should be a pretty close game. And the Class 6 scoreboard as we wrap up the video. We'll start in the bottom left. SLU versus DeSmet. I feel like these are just teams on two different tiers. I will take the Spartans by 56. Blue Springs South hosting Lee Summit. Don't think home field advantage is going to do much for the Jaguars this week. I will take Lee Summit by 21. Jackson hosting Edwardsville. Edwardsville's looked okay so far this year, so is Jackson. I will take Jackson at home by 28, though. The home field advantage there is just absolutely crazy. Rockbridge hosting JC. This is the first CMAC game that I've covered so far in the first 3 weeks. I know that was in a comment that I had earlier on. They were saying, why are you not doing CMAC? Well, when you have terrible teams in the CMAC that are bringing it down and you've got the great teams playing the bad teams, I'm not really going to put those on the scoreboard. So I'm sorry, I'm not trying to disrespect the conference, but there's really just 3 teams You guys know those three teams that I'm talking about. If you're familiar with the conference, you know who I'm talking about that's bringing it down. But, when there's good teams playing those three teams, I'm not going to put them on the scoreboard because it's obvious those games are going to be, 90 points dropped maybe. Wink, wink. You guys know what I'm talking about there. Rockbridge versus JC. Rockbridge hosting. I think that Rockbridge has the edge here. Give me the Bruins by 13. Francis Howell versus Cardinal Ritter. Francis Howell surprised me. I know I talked about it earlier. 0-2 start doesn't get any easier this week. That was what I was talking about. My Class 5 state favorite, Cardinal Ritter, is going to them. I am going to take Ritter by 19. I'm hoping the best for Cam Kaysen, Eli Skidmore, Reed Williams, all those guys at Francis Howell. But I really just don't think that the run starts this week, if we're going to be honest. And the Class 6 game of the week, it has to be Nixa versus Joplin. This is going to be a really interesting game. 5-star Jackson Cantwell, 2-0 start for Nixa, and then also a 2-0 start for the Joplin Eagles. So this should be a fun game. So our Missouri Sports Talk game of the week, I'm going to a small school for this one. I have to show love to 8-man. Bramer versus Paris. I'm going to see Jordan Haley and the Bramer squad. So make sure to see me there. That's about a 2.5-hour drive for me. That's okay, though. I'm not worried about the drives, with this profession. If I'm going to record games, if you're 4 hours away, probably not going to do that. But, 2.5 doesn't bother me one bit. I'm excited to see what Bramer has to offer. 8-man, never seen a game before. So this is going to be a fun one. Please come out and see me. So that's all we've got for today. Hopefully I get this up by 5. I'm in a little bit of a time crunch right now. I left a little bit too much on my plate today, which, that's okay. It is what it is. But I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go ahead and edit and hopefully get this up by 5. But that's all we've got for today. Stay tuned for the scores on probably put a Facebook story, Instagram story, and as a TikTok. And, yeah, that's all I've got. This has been Missouri Sports Talk. We'll see you next time.